AWS Step Functions. AWS Step Functions is a serverless service that allows you to orchestrate and coordinate your AWS services into a series of steps or workflows. With Step Functions, you can define and run workflows that are comprised of AWS Lambda functions, AWS Fargate tasks, Amazon EC2 instances, and other AWS services. In this 8,000-word primer, we'll explore the key concepts, benefits, use cases, and best practices of AWS Step Functions. Key concepts of AWS Step Functions. To get started with AWS Step Functions, it's important to understand some of the key concepts. State machine. A state machine is the main construct in AWS Step Functions that defines the workflow. It's a JSON document that describes a set of states and the transitions between them. Each state can be a task, a choice, a parallel, a wait, or a fail state. A state machine can be created and edited in the AWS Step Functions console or using the AWS SDK. States. States are the building blocks of a state machine. Each state represents a single action or a decision point in the workflow. There are several types of states. Task state represents a single unit of work, such as running an AWS Lambda function or an AWS Fargate task. Choice state represents a conditional branch in the workflow. It evaluates one or more conditions and selects the next state based on the result of the evaluation. Parallel state represents a parallel branch in the workflow. It can run multiple tasks or sub-workflows in parallel and wait for all of them to complete before proceeding to the next state. Wait state represents a delay in the workflow. It can be used to introduce a delay between states or to wait for a certain condition to be met before proceeding to the next state. Fail state represents a failure in the workflow. It can be used to handle errors and exceptions in the workflow. Input and output. Each state can have an input and output, which are JSON documents that can be passed between states. The input contains the data that is required by the state to perform its action, and the output contains the data that is produced by the state. The input and output can be used to pass data between different states in the workflow. Execution. An execution is an instance of a state machine. It represents a single run of the state machine and contains information about the input, output, and status of each state. You can view the execution history, including the input and output of each state, in the AWS Step Functions console. Benefits of AWS Step Functions. AWS Step Functions provides several benefits that make it a powerful tool for building and managing workflows. Scalability and reliability. AWS Step Functions is a fully managed service that automatically scales to handle the load of your workflows. It provides built-in error handling and retry mechanisms to ensure that your workflows are reliable and resilient. You don't have to worry about managing the underlying infrastructure or implementing complex retry logic. Visibility and debugging. AWS Step Functions provides a rich set of tools for monitoring and debugging your workflows. You can view the execution history, including the input and output of each state, in the AWS Step Functions console. You can also use CloudWatch logs and X-Ray to gain deeper insights into the behavior of your workflows. Flexibility and agility. AWS Step Functions is highly flexible and can be used to build workflows for a wide range of use cases. You can easily modify and update your workflows as your business requirements change. You can also integrate AWS Step Functions with other AWS services and third-party tools to extend its functionality. Use cases for AWS Step Functions. AWS Step Functions can be used for a wide range of use cases, including data processing. AWS Step Functions can be used to orchestrate data processing workflows, such as ETL, extract, transform, load, and data pipelines. You can use Step Functions to run Lambda functions or other compute services to process data and move it between different storage services like Amazon S3, DynamoDB, and RDS. Serverless applications. AWS Step Functions can be used to build serverless applications that consist of multiple Lambda functions or other serverless services. You can use Step Functions to manage the execution and coordination of these services, making it easier to build, test, and deploy serverless applications. Microservices orchestration. AWS Step Functions can be used to orchestrate microservices in a distributed system. You can use step functions to manage the flow of requests between different microservices, handle errors and retries, and provide visibility into the status of the system. Business processes. AWS Step Functions can be used to automate and manage business processes, such as order processing and customer onboarding. You can use step functions to coordinate the different steps and systems involved in these processes, making them more efficient and reliable. Best practices for AWS Step Functions. When using AWS Step Functions, there are several best practices to follow to ensure that your workflows are efficient, reliable, and easy to maintain. Use idempotent operations. Idempotent operations are operations that can be safely repeated multiple times without changing the result. When using AWS Step Functions, it's important to design your workflows to use idempotent operations wherever possible. This helps to ensure that your workflows are resilient to errors and retries. Use state machines for business logic. AWS Step Functions provides a powerful tool for defining and managing the business logic of your workflows. By using state machines to define your workflows, you can make them more flexible, scalable, and easy to maintain. You can also use step functions to provide visibility into the status and behavior of your workflows. Use step functions for error handling and retries. AWS Step Functions provides built-in error handling and retry mechanisms that can be used to handle errors and failures in your workflows. By using step functions to handle errors and retries, you can make your workflows more resilient and reliable. Use CloudWatch metrics and alarms. AWS Step Functions integrates with CloudWatch, which provides a powerful set of tools for monitoring and alerting on the behavior of your workflows. By using CloudWatch metrics and alarms, you can gain visibility into the performance of your workflows and take action when necessary. Use step functions with other AWS services. AWS Step Functions integrates with a wide range of other AWS services, including Lambda, EC2, Fargate, S3, and DynamoDB. By using step functions with these services, you can build powerful workflows that can process, store, and analyze data at scale. Conclusion. AWS Step Functions is a powerful tool for building and managing workflows that can coordinate and orchestrate multiple AWS services. By using step functions, you can automate and streamline your business processes, build serverless applications, and process and analyze data at scale. With its scalability, reliability, and flexibility, AWS Step Functions is a great choice for organizations that want to simplify their workflows and make them more efficient and reliable.